Is your mother the number one in your life? Is your mom the one that you abused the most emotionally? Perhaps physically, I don't know. And took all of that and still loved you for who you are, your capabilities, and your potential, regardless of what is going on in your current status or situation. We're going to talk about that in this video because today is Mother's Day. And I want to appreciate every mother out there because they hold and harness so much courage and strength that we can't even fathom or begin to understand how they do it unconditionally. Let's go. All right, you amazing people. Mother's Day. My mother is someone who I rarely talk about on this channel. And the reason is because I did so much to her emotionally throughout my drinking history that I couldn't even begin to bring myself to speak to her face to face and to try to make things right because I felt so ashamed of what I did and so ashamed of the circumstances that I caused that I just didn't even want to approach the situation. A lot of you, including myself entirely, that is what our foothold is, and that's what binds us to our either recovery or lack thereof, only because we have to make amends in order to make things right with the things that we have done wrong in our drinking histories or using histories. If you can relate to that so far, drop a like and drop a comment below so someone else can get some of that, because I guarantee you someone is thinking about that right now. Why am I doing this video? I'm doing this video in light of Mother's Day and how moms are strong and everything else. But a lot of times mothers can be our enablers, and mothers can be so much of a caretaker that they don't see or don't want to see what exactly is going on. A woman that I converse with on a normal basis is a mom whose son is in total turmoil and lost in his own addiction and situations that, you know, the family would rather ignore them than to address it head on. And I understand that because I'm quite certain that my family did the same thing. However, by ignoring the situation for what it is and holding me accountable for what I was doing, enabled me to a point that I just felt what I was doing was okay, and I felt what I was doing was not harming anybody. Put that mirror in front of yourself, and if you've ever been in a situation where you actually had to examine yourself, and you know that's along where the 12-step program comes into play. And if you're not with that, that's cool, but think about the time when you said, holy crap, I am really this bad, or I am really messing this up. That is a hard thing to understand and a hard thing to go face to face with and admit that you are the one jacking things up. And I don't know, I could imagine and definitely not understand, but as a father and as, you know, someone who is a protector of a child, I did quite the opposite in my drinking history, and I damaged my son emotionally, which in this current time, 5 years sober, I've been able to make amends every day by doing exactly what I say I'm going to do and showing up when I say I'm going to show up. I say that to say this. We are supposed to be the protectors of our children, and we will go to any length to do it. And I think that's where a lot of moms have not an issue, but they have a hard time accepting the fact that their child is not exactly how they thought it should be, or he or she should be, and perhaps they may think that they're a bad parent. I don't know. Drop your comments below so, I don't know, someone else can say, I'm not alone on this. It's a hard concept, right? The woman who I'm talking about, you know, she is very loving and very, very worried and very conscious of what is going on with her son. But she also knows that she can't be the one to make it stop. He has to be the one to make it stop. And as a mom, you know, and for me as a father, I can understand that. I can relate. If my son was in a situation to where he was doing harm to himself, either, you know, physically, mentally, with a substance, with the drink or whatever, and I can't step in, I can't intervene, that is a lot of hardship on me, and that's a lot of pressure that I would have to swallow, is that I can't take care of this. I'm not the solution for my son or my daughter. They have to be. And that's the hard part of it all. And the hard part of addiction and alcoholism is that the alcoholic or addict, or the hard user or hard drinker, they're going to have to be the ones to say that this isn't doing it, this isn't where I want to be, and no one on the outside can do anything about it. But what we can do, and if you're with me on this, drop a like. What we can do, and I got that Starbucks going on, what we can do is not enable our children. We can stop giving them money when they ask for it. We can stop providing food, water, and shelter, to the extent of the law, of course, because they are harming themselves with what we are providing. And really, if you think about it, that's true in almost all cases. And not are we only harming them by, or allowing them to harm themselves by accepting their behavior and accepting, giving them money and everything else. We enable them when we don't say anything. Does that make sense? Because if you ignore a situation for so long, it becomes an accepted norm, and it becomes what, that person knows is tolerated, and we as alcoholics and addicts will thrive off of that, and we will feed off of that, and feed off of your heartstrings and everything else. And that's where you come into play by saying, no, this is not going to work. This is not acceptable, and this is not the way that you should be living. Granted, the term you should and you could or you would is very targeted and very directive towards an alcoholic or addict, and that in turn can send somebody away and send them out, and definitely do a little bit of harm if you don't do it in the right way, which is how interventions and everything else, that's how they work. Interventionists, that's what I meant to say. That's where people like that come into play, and sober coaches and recovery coaches and all that jazz, is that they have a little bit of expertise in those areas, and perhaps they can help you where you can't help yourself to help someone else. I don't know, that's just food for thought in light of Mother's Day. I know my wife as a mom, she struggled and she had to do it all on her own when I was out in my chaos and everything else. And I got nothing but solid love for her, because that takes a lot of strength and courage, and especially when she stopped enabling me, crap, in terms, she was my mom too, because, I couldn't take care of myself, and I did depend on her, and I did feed off of her. And, to be a mother and to be able to harness all that, and to be able to be, courageous to admit to yourself that you're enabling someone else, and you have to stop the actions you're doing, because that is in turn making things out of control. That's a big pill to swallow, so to speak, and nobody take that for what it is not. I don't know, let me know what you think. And this video is kind of short. I just want to share my thoughts with you on this, and I'll just throw it out there what will be. I hope that the situation gets better, and just don't, let me rephrase that, I wouldn't enable the person, my son. So if that is something that is going on, by ignoring it, then perhaps you should shed that light in that mirror. I'm not a doctor or a psychologist or social worker, so none of my thoughts or anything else is medicine. It's just my opinion. I got nothing but love for you. I know the strength that it takes to be where you're at and to deal with it on a day-to-day basis, and I salute you, and I'm sure a lot of other folks do too. If you're in this boat and your world is upside down by someone else's addiction or alcoholism, drop a like, drop me a PM, DM, or whatever those messages are on Instagram, Reddit, or Twitter, and I will definitely get back to you and hopefully be able to share some experience, strength, and hope with you. If you've enjoyed today's video, take a chance, subscribe to the channel. Every supporter helps, and it helps this channel grow and get the message out there. And I will try to improve this audio a little bit, because it is on my cell phone. I just pulled up to work, and I don't know, Life is a garden, folks. I'm Wayne. I'm an alcoholic. This has been One Sober to Another, and you guys have a good day. Bye-bye.